Well, that's not something you see every day. Happy Halloween, my zombie friends. Hello there, and welcome back to the Rovecraft server. We're finally done with the footage from October, and finally into November. Today we're going to breathe a little bit of life back into the GGG name, so instead of me sitting here blabbering on about it, let's get this rock a-rolling. It's flashback time, my friends. It's time, my friends. Time to resurrect the GGG name and actually build a GGG shop. The server has been open for 5 months now, and life has kept me so busy that I didn't have time for one. But that time is over. Today we finally build the shop. Now I've done the rough layout of the shop with sand and stone to indicate the individual areas. When I do a build, I usually don't plan ahead too much and just do it by feel. You know, build in the moment. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. But this time I wanted to do something different with the logo and somehow work it into the entrance of the build. That made me plan ahead and design this one in creative. But, true to form, I figured out the logo and sort of the basic shape of the shop, but the rest I'll do on the fly. This area I'm standing on is the center of the shop and the entrance to the building. There will be a path heading out in that direction, and another one coming from this one. Once the build is done, I'll have to continue the walkway pattern around the building. But enough of the idle chit-chat. It's time to build. This is going to take me a while, so let's speed up that footage. Cue the sound effect! So for this build, I'm going to be using a lot of quartz, black stone, red wool, red concrete, and red concrete powder. All the colors of the GGG logo on display as you enter the store. Keep in mind, all season I've been gathering materials for this shop. I was going to build a wool shop, but Insane took care of that. But we have an agreement on my using the wool from the farm. Contrary to all the fake news out there, I can assure you it has nothing to do with bribing the OSH inspector. Absolutely nothing. I've taken down whole mesas to gather enough terracotta for the shop. Built 2 flower farms. A cactus farm. A squid farm. A concrete maker. And completely devastated a desert for all the glass. And quartz. And more quartz. Many, many quartz. And the quartz is just to make the shop. And all of these supplies are to fill a shop that sells all the blocks that can be dyed. So the shop is going to sell wool, it's going to sell glass, it's going to sell terracotta, glazed terracotta, concrete in both forms, all the dyes, and even a selection of flowers because why not? Oh,
that's a no-no word.
New from the fine folks at GGG Enterprises. Speedboat tours now available with all the wakeboarding, water skiing, or tubing fun you could ever imagine. Call our offices today for pricing and availability. GGG Speedboat Tours. Who doesn't enjoy a good motorboating? Looks like I forgot to turn the ads off again, guys. Sorry. And there you have it. The logo is finally taking shape. Each of the G's are a slightly different red color while also being made from materials in the store. But this is just the entrance. Now, I actually have to build the store, otherwise it's just a completely random GGG logo that leads to a fall on the other side. And frankly, I can't afford the lawsuits. Speed that footage back up, editor man. Of course, the torches here are just temporary. Spawn Island is a spawn-free zone, so any spawning spots left unlit will create some pretty devastating building code violations. Besides, I don't want to incur the wrath of the man of many torches. Torchman! You'll have to excuse my editor. I think he's had a bit too much to drink today. Now, I know I sometimes give my editor Bob a hard time, but I think he does a great job of the editing. We just like to poke a little fun at each other, don't we, Bob? It's amazing how that little bit of white border could make that much of a difference, isn't it? Here's what it looks like from the back. Now obviously I'm going to put up some walls around this and maybe even use the area underneath it as a hidden storage room or something. I'm not quite sure yet. At this point, all I know is I need stairs. Okay, I've been busy off camera and it's totally not because I forgot to turn it on or anything. Personally, I think Bob just lost the footage. You can kind of see the general idea I'm playing with for the floor, as well as a display area for the chests. Not sure I'm 100% liking this, but I'll continue this idea around until something better pops into my head. The sea lanterns will be covered in carpet later, but they'll be the main source of lighting in the store. Over here, I started building the wall and feel, well, it's just a little too plain. I'm going to try some things out, like banners or something, to show what's on sale in the area. Or maybe some wall patterns. I don't know. We'll come back to it once I figured out what I want. You know, you're probably thinking, he went with another G? But I really tried a lot of ideas out, and once I put a G in the wall, it just spoke to me. Now these areas on either side of the entrance, I'm thinking of doing something with glazed terracotta here. Something colorful that breaks up all the white. Hopefully, I can come up with something good. And here I changed the table design under the chests a little to actually make them look a little like tables now. I like this a lot better. And here we are, our first look at the interior. The shop actually has a full floor, walls on all sides, and even has a roof. Who knew that was possible? Now, I'm still tweaking things, but I think it's really starting to take shape. I'm sure some of you out there, I'm looking at you, Jax, are cringing over all the diorite, but I happen to like polished diorite. It has a sort of marbly look to it and works well besides quartz. It's sort of a well-worn version of quartz. And here it is, my friends, the finished product. The sidewalks are done, and the shop is complete and fully stocked, and I even planted bushes around the place. There's even mannequins in the windows. Here's a touching scene between Deadly Sins and Legend Plays. LP always looks a bit sad, doesn't he? And over here we have Hera and Jax, both modeling items on sale in the shop. You know, one of my pet peeves with armor stands in Minecraft is those darn knee patches. I'll never understand why, when you dye leather armor, the knees stay brown. What's up with that? And now that the shop is finally open, it's time to give it a name. I've decided to go with the Glorious Galleria of Gragore. But before we go in, let's take a moment to look at the final product. Considering none of this was planned out, I really like the corner pillars here. It's a simple design, but I like how the slabs look like they're slightly poking out over the blocks. There's no depth, but it looks like there's depth. Between you and me, I'm really happy with how this entrance turned out. So enough patting myself on the back, let's get back to the tour. As you can see, I finally placed down the carpets and sorted out all the chests and barrels. There was so much white going on inside that I thought it needed something to really break away from that. The rainbow carpeting seemed the natural way to go. I wanted to minimize the use of signs, and since this is at spawn, I didn't want to use a lot of item frames to keep server lag to a minimum. So instead of that, I placed the blocks that are in the chest or barrels below and above them. Not only does it help to break up all that white, it makes it very clear what's inside. I put glass in the ceiling bordered by mushroom blocks as another way to break up all that stark white you get with quartz. I think it turned out pretty well. I used the purple and red glazed terracotta to add more color and show an example of glazed in use. I like to fight the urge to make everything purely symmetrical. Even though they are different colored glazes, it works to bring symmetry without being a perfect mirror of each other. That'll end the tour of the shop, but hopefully, now that it's built, the voices in my head can stop pestering me about it. Be sure to stop in and leave me some diamonds the next time you're in the area. I think that's all I have time for today, but hopefully the next episode will be out fairly soon. I hope you enjoyed the video, and of course, if you liked, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, but really, the commenting is always the most important. It's really the only thing that lets me know there's people out there who liked it. Until next time, always remember to try and have fun. See ya. Okay, let's swing around. The base should be over in this direction, I think. Fire a rocket. Well, of course I'm gonna die in lava just to film an intro.